Welcome, and hi, Jed. So good to see you. So, isn't it nice? We know the best life and the best life now as well is an amazing thing to do this and to really to reflect over those things that we are aware of. Now, when we're holding attention on something, and I love something she said when you in the Abraham Now for today. She will say when you asking the question and you have the answer in the same way, that is from who you really are. You know, you're asking a question from the alignment space, then you will have the answer from the alignment space. You already know the answer to that question. That's something I love to hear, you know, more with Jen expanding out, but also for because it's so good clarification, all of this, and it's just like so good, just like to know that that everything is for us, and to also to be easy about it, and when things happening, it happens, and we don't have to go back on that. If things happening, it happens. It's okay. We are not 100% on, you know, unconditional all the time. There is conditional sometimes happening, but when we acknowledge it and not, you know, letting that momentum of the resistance to it be, but letting or into that source energy and then acknowledge it and moving on, the energy will transform. And there was a great story there was a great story where Abraham talked about the purple. I love that in the end, when you see the purple, there is an allowing things. And I recently had those experiences as well with myself. So I got a lot of goosebumps when I listened to it, and it's just like, to know when you more you allow your energy to come through, you will feel it in your energy. You will feel it when you close your eyes and you daydream. You will feel it in every aspect in your life more and more, and you will feel easy, gentle, and general. And it's a process, and everyone have their own. It's not about who's get longest there or who's got farthest or nearest, or no. It's no competition in this. This is individual. When you are acknowledging right here, right now, for what you are now knowing about this, about your non-physical energy in physical body, and you start to understand a little bit, it's okay. You start right now, right here, to move toward more of those things that feels good to you, and you acknowledge for yourself, because this is our own journey. This is our journey, but it's my journey, it's Jen's journey, it's Super Dave's journey. We have there's everyone's journey in their own, and it's all good. It's okay. There is no wrong in it. It's all good. It's all okay. Everyone, I can see them from, we can see everyone from who they truly are, from who we truly are. And yeah, let's open up with that, Jen. So,
wow. Yeah. Well,
so much expansion.
So much expansion. Yeah. And I love what you shared. And it's really understanding we can only be where we're at.
Oh.
You know, so it's like wherever you're at, if you're feeling kind of in an uncomfortable place, you can only be in that place. So, you know, acknowledge that and allow yourself to be okay with that. And in that you can flow forward, right? So because sometimes there's this idea that we have to get somewhere in order to find our alignment. But it's really about being where you're at. And if you're feeling some negative emotion, well, know in that moment when you acknowledge it, know that you are asking. The broader aspect of you, your inner being, that extension of God's source energy, is right there with you, experiencing that same moment. And they are creating and have vibrationally created right in that moment that which you do desire. So, you know, take some comfort in that and know that your inner being, God's source, is never beating up on you for where you're at. Never dangling a carrot in front of your nose, or getting frustrated with you, or trying to do animated tricks to get you to feel and flow forward. It's just saying, we have what you want, come this way. And like an unwavering, unairing, unending beacon of pure love and light. It's broadcasting to you that which you desire, right? It's broadcasting. And in order to hear that broadcast, it's just acknowledging where you're at. And if it is in a place that feels contrastual, acknowledging that and being a bit okay and go, well, this isn't my preference, but I know what I want is created. I know that if I ease up, I know, right, that I'll be able to feel my path, and you'll be able to start feeling that guidance immediately. It'll start coming to you. And it might just be take a deep breath. It might be something very simple, but know that that's what you can receive in that moment. And know that we're all being guided to, in essence, be comfortable where we're at, to be comfortable feeling comfortable. We're guided to always be flowing to a better feeling. And know that when we are in a space of contrast, it's appreciated, it's celebrated by all that is. And when we can be easier with ourselves about that, we lose the fear of contrast, right? Now we just see it as part of the beautiful journey. So, and I love this because, thank you everyone for being who you are. Thank you. Thank you for shining in the way that you do. And thank you for really, flowing in the direction that feels best for you. And even if you're not, even if you're resisting it, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank yourself for the life you live. Come into that space where you can appreciate, maybe your life is really beautiful. I mean, I can say that about my life. So, but maybe you're in a space where you're feeling like, the first 30 years of my life, I don't know, I'd just like to start over. Well, good news. Every moment is brand new. You can just flow forward. But it's not like you're starting over. It's just like you're embracing the newness, the becomingness of you, knowing that all that has preceded you has served you well. And you don't have to, in essence, get somewhere to get started. Just begin where you're at. It's a beautiful, forward-flowing, expansive experience. So I'll pause there.
It's so beautiful. It's like you're saying you don't have Source don't say you have to overcome something for coming into the alignment of who we are in you. You just can bridge that when you're immediately feeling that bridging over to that alignment. You just know right away that it's all okay, it's all good, and you can move from that direction, from well-being. And what happening when you do that, you will feel the bliss that follow your bliss way that comes to you. You will feel that you are in the receiving mode. You feel that you're receiving impulses and all of those things that's things that feels good to you right now, that you're most focused in right now. And you will be guided on the way as you're moving forward. You will feel the next and the next, and you will enjoy the next and the next, because you are in the receiving mode, you are in alignment, you will then receive more of it. And it's a frequency that matches up with the vibration and the attention, and you're paying attention to what you hold in. When you get into the energy and not resist it, when you get into it, when you get in the energy of it and allowing it, then it becomes more. That's like quieting my mind, releasing the resistance more and more, and the aliveness increases more in the body. It's the natural part. And more, and then, like you say, you are more in the appreciation. And then, you have meditation. I love what Abraham shared last time. Meditation is good, but appreciation is good too. And it's like more being in appreciation instead. You will feel that more, and it's the same as quieting your mind, releasing resistance, or arising energy. But appreciation, then you just feel unconditional good and appreciate all that you are and all that is, and you feel it and you see it and you sense it with the non-physical in it. with that energy of who you really are in pure law source energy in the physical. And that becomes more as you are observing it and are conscious aware of it in the alignment space of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the alignment space and the unconditional love is always available. It's always looking forward to becoming more. So we can bridge whenever where there is things happen. That's why I love what Esther say or Abraham said today. Be okay with where you're at. Don't if things happen. Things happen. It's okay. Sometimes we are conditions happens and we can be conditionally, but good. But we can also acknowledge it and bridge back to the alignment again. And the alignment, not like say, what did you do 5 minutes ago? It's just like, okay, this is good. Moving forward, what feels a little bit better, and you will be guided. And more we are in the space of alignment, because alignment never look at misalignment. You are in alignment. Alignment is searching for more alignment naturally.
Right.
And that's us in the non-physical, or we say non-physical in us or in the consciousness. And then it expand out like that, easy, gentle, and general, and more
Right.
to come.
It's so good. I loved what you shared. And that's what it's so much about. It's acknowledging wherever you're at and being like, this is good. If it's contrast, acknowledge it and go, it's good that I'm aware of this. It's good that I know that I'm feeling this, right? And if you're feeling really good, well, acknowledge that. Allow yourself to get used to feeling better. Allow yourself to look for the things that are going in the direction you desire. There's always good things that are surrounding us. Always, 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 always. And it's tuning yourself more deliberately to see and focus and acknowledge the things that are going right. And this is so beautiful. We just got off of a class, and this is a wonderful example, and I'd love to share it. And I'll go very briefly. And it was actually Dave, and he was sharing that his car was making a noise, right? And he, didn't know what it was, and he acknowledged it. And then he just kind of let it be, and he followed his guidance. He actually was guided to reach out to somebody, and it felt better, and he just let it be and went about feeling good. And then when he went to go in his car and drive again, and he was feeling really good, that noise was gone. The noise was gone. But here's the thing. So what would you do? If the noise is gone, would you just be like, this is fantastic, thank you? Or would you go, the noise is gone, where is it? Where is that noise? I need to find that noise. I need to find that problem, right? And just consider, when the noise is gone, let that be good. Continue to flow forward, feeling, isn't this fantastic? Oh, and appreciating your car and all of those things and the things that are occurring around you, instead of recognizing, hey, that problem that I had is gone. Where'd it go? I need to find out what happened to it. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but it is a stream of human consciousness that can be fairly prevalent, right? And so that's why it's so important to get comfortable being comfortable. Get comfortable for things working out for you. Get comfortable of understanding that when you ask, it's given. It's given. And it's a gradual process. It's an easy process. And then just acknowledge, like maybe you have something going on in your body. Maybe you have a headache. Well, as that headache, maybe you take a little nap and the headache's gone. Don't go searching for your headache again. Where'd you go? How could you not be here? Just appreciate that it's gone and flow forward, right? If you had a disagreement with somebody in your household, one of your children or your mate, And now you see him next and you both have smiles on your face. Don't go back and go, but what about that disagreement we had this morning? Just allow the improvement. Allow things to flow forward. Allow your becoming. Allow yourself to be comfortable with things flowing more in your direction. And, no, we don't need to seek out problems. We can just let them come as they come. There will be things that will pop up on your path, but when you're feeling and flowing in your alignment, they don't feel like such problems. They just are something we can more easily acknowledge. But say once in a while, maybe you're a little off kilter and something really does grab you and it just sort of gets you. But then the recipe is still the same. The formula, the thing to do is just acknowledge it, right? Okay, it's good that I'm aware of what just happened here. And I know the broader aspect of me, my inner being, has given me what I desire in this moment. And that feels so good. And then go about feeling better. Maybe you can see in that moment of acknowledging what you truly desire, or you'll feel your guidance. Whatever it is, you'll feel your guidance, but it is a deliberate choice. And I love that you mentioned the two tools at the beginning, one of meditation, the other of appreciation. These are two tools. I recommend you do them both. But don't make it hard on yourself to do these things. Make it easy and understand the difference. Meditation is the process of quieting your mind, not for hours, 15 minutes. There was an analogy, and I like it because it was a really good of an analogy for explaining meditation. And they said, consider you live in a big house with several other family members, and it's noisy. There's a TV going at one place and there's a radio somewhere else, and one of the kids has a drum set and they're playing it, and maybe one of the other kids is singing and squealing and making a bunch of noise. Well, meditation is you in that house going to find a quiet place, and that place might be in a closet that's kind of a little soundproof. Maybe it's got lots of clothes in there, and it's a quiet place, and just going in there for a few minutes to feel that quiet. Well, that's what meditation does for your mind, because there's a lot of stuff happening, right? Woo, thoughts firing. You're just giving it time to have a little bit of quiet so you can feel your connection. Yeah, it's good. Appreciation? Oh, Abraham will even say, we prefer you're in a space of appreciation. But that's when you are in the moment, feeling and appreciating what's in the moment. There's no drawing back energy. You're just like, I appreciate right now. I so appreciate being on this live in this moment. I so appreciate the feeling of connectedness that I can feel to my inner being, to all that is. I feel the energy. I feel the motion of the planet. I so appreciate, right? There's no drawing back in that. I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying I appreciate that I can do a Facebook Live now, because 5 years ago, well, I don't even know if it was possible to do a Facebook Live 5 years ago, but 5 years ago, this would have been scary for me, right? Or something like that. No, I mean, see how that just gums it all up? Right, because there's nothing to draw back to. It's just, I appreciate right now. I appreciate what's happening in this moment. I appreciate that I can feel the newness coming. I appreciate the inspired ideas that are flowing to me and through me, and to Espen and through Espen, and to and through each of you. It's so beautiful. So I'll pause there.
It's good. I love Jen. There was something she shared there. Oh, what was it? That say this thing with the pandemic. No, and that talk about the love, and every, she says of every contrast is for the shift of consciousness in humanity, and we have the ability to focus. And this is such a nice thing, because when there is now when there is a contrast happening, and there is a shift in consciousness, because for, you see, like you said, like before, I love that too, and I also be more aware of it, that more people are more, kind to themselves, more people are helping each other, and they are easy with all of the things going on, gentle. That's what I feel. It's my experience, what I feel right now, and that for myself, I'm feeling more focused. I'm feeling more. What do we say? Something Abraham shared in the beginning, and I love that too, because I feel the same. They're like that. When there is a thing happening, like a big contrast, you get more focused, and it's nice, because you talk about the rockets of desire. When there is a big shift or something happening, there is a big contrast, there is a bigger thing in the source of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love, and because also when she's talking about, when you, about one person who had this COVID-19, and how to shift this to feel better, and she said get into it, but like not trying to fix it or make it, but get into the energy vibration of it, and letting it be, like, like acceptance, letting it flow to you and through you, not resisting it. Then the energy can transform. And I remember for myself, I had this experience for myself when I was working on the ocean. I would talk about it before, and it's a very good one. It's because I had I was not used to have that kind of work, and sleep so much, not so much, and working much. But then when I then acknowledge it, and I say, I just want to feel better. I want to feel energized. I want to feel this and this. And what I did in the moment, I was letting it in. I was like, okay, I just quieted my mind, and I was just starting with breathing, and I was just breathing and focusing my inner beingness, and feeling my energy from my whole body, and having no attention of what it is or not, but just mentally try to do anything about it, but just letting it happen, letting the energy flow. I was asking, and then I was allowing the answering. And what happened right away, because I had such a strong rockets of desire of that in that moment, because um, that was the energy I felt. And when I then letting it happen, not resisting it anymore, I gave up the resistance to it. I gave up the struggle in it. I gave up the pain in it. I gave up all of that, and I was just breathing and allowing what I've been asking for to become. And then the energy shift inside of me, and transformed. And I never had the same experience with being so tired, and having so much pain, or uh, and then it was just gone. And since it didn't come back, so things transform easy when we are letting it happen. Talk about that, letting it happen, letting it be, letting it flow to you and through you. It's already been asked, and it's already been answered from the source energy from within. Becoming that, no, I feel the easiness of that, feel the gentleness in that, feel that you can be general in the way you speak, and you can feel the easiness of how you are telling your new story. You can shift, you can transform, you can come to the place from in alignment of your desires, and you can feel easier also to come in there, because that source is easy, source is gentle, source is always supporting and uplifting everything that you are, and everything that you desire, and everything that you want. So for me, that experience was like a confirmation right there. Then when source coming through, when you're having a strong asking, a strong rocket to desire, and you have no resistance to what is, you are in that answer. Because she say, when you ask and you understand the answer at the same time, because already inside I knew that this can shift, and I asked, and it allowed it to become true. It allowed to come the energy of it, and then I'm moving on. And it's just so nice. So do you want to expand this out? Because it's like, and then just like getting out of the head of it, it's okay. Now it was transformed. It was good. It was okay. because she talked about this woman who had COVID-19 and she had a baby, and she had this, and so letting it in. She talked about letting it in. So do you want to expand this out?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, this was a very beautiful segment, a beautiful question. And it was from a lady who was 7 weeks pregnant, and she has COVID-19. And she said, and the way she wrote her question, she said she wasn't feeling really the resistance. And Abraham kind of went, a little bit. But then, and she said she was, feeling more like exhausted or tired. But then Abraham went on to say, right? And this ties right back into what we were saying before. You can only be where you're at. Acknowledge that. Here I am. Don't push against it. Your inner being, or her inner being in this case, what is not pushing against what's happening. And something beautiful is happening too at the same time. She's being guided, and her body, right, which is all connected to source energy. Every cell in your body is connected to source energy, is feeling that. And if you're not worrying about, oh my gosh, this isn't good, right? If you're not doing that, if you just acknowledge, well, this is where I am. My body is making me feel tired, exhausted, I think was the word. It's calling you to rest. And her focus, in essence, was blurred, broadened out, a little more generalized, right? To make it easier to let go of that, the resistance. And Abraham assured, and this is as simple as it is, whatever you're feeling, when you acknowledge it, yeah, and you could say something, well, I can only be where I'm at. I know that what I desire is created in this moment, and I'm going to follow my guidance. For this particular lady, her guidance is to rest and allow the cells of her body to do what they do best, to feel their connection to source without resistance. And then Abraham went on to assure, she said, you will be just fine. And you could feel that, right? But it's the same for us always. When we're in any contrast, whether it's a physical contrast, like the COVID-19, or a toothache, or a financial contrast, or a relationships contrast, when we can acknowledge, well, this is where I am, and maybe it's a relationship, and I kind of lost my cool a little bit, right? Okay, but that's okay. I know that I care. I also know that my inner being has the solution. I know that what I've asked is given. And I know that I can move forward, right? You'll feel the relief. You'll feel the guidance. You'll feel the improvement. It's our worrying. It's our overthinking. It's that desire to dig in. It's that desire to go, hey, where's that noise in my car that went away? I better find it. It's gone now. Hey, where's that? My tooth was hurting and it's not now. I better poke around at it and see if I can make it hurt again. Right? Or you could allow yourself to feel better. And the same thing I can feel with this lady. She'll rest for those days, whatever her body calls her to, and she'll feel gently her body coming back into its space of well-being. She will, and it will be amazing, and she'll feel refreshed and renewed. Her baby will have, beautiful immunity to that virus, right? She will have future immunity. The enhancement from that is beautiful. There's always improvement. Every time there's contrast, there's always improvement. And if we just go with it, if we just acknowledge it and flow forward, we'll feel the improvement. When we resist, no, I feel fine, I said, and we resist it, yeah, it's going to be, the contrast is going to get bigger, right? You're going to feel something, you're going to feel either the negative emotion building, kind of some resentment, or if you hang on to it long enough, you'll feel it manifest in your body. a little wear. You might get the headache or the toothache, or your leg will start hurting, or your knee, or your stomach, right? That's a lot of places we feel it when we're hanging on to things. We'll feel disruption in our digestion, kind of like uncomfortable. Well, ease into that. It didn't come about for no particular reason. And you might say, well, yes, it did. My stomach's upset because I overate. Well, ease into that anyway, right? Because you overate for some reason. Now, do you need to find that reason? No, not at all. And I don't, but just acknowledge, okay, my digestion is upset in this moment. That's good. It's good I'm aware of this. And I know a comfortable flowing body is already created. I can feel that. You'll feel the relief come. You'll feel a desire. Maybe you'll be guided to go lay down for a little bit, or drink some water, or go for a walk, or whatever it is. You'll feel that. You'll feel your guidance. It's so simple when we make a deliberate acknowledgement and don't beat up on ourselves for where we stand. Like in that example, like maybe your stomach is upset, right? And you think, well, it's because I overate. What was I doing overeating? Gosh, I should know I can't have 3 bowls of soup, or whatever it is, whatever your meal was. But you're beating up on yourself. And guess what? Your stomach's hurting more as you beat up on yourself and more. And I should know better. It's hurting worse. You're feeling more uncomfortable. But if you just acknowledge, okay, my stomach is feeling uncomfortable in this moment. It's a little overfull, right? But that's okay. My body is adaptive. I'll feel better. You'll be guided. Oh, you'll feel the relief right away. You'll feel it come in every time. When we ask, the solution is always given. It always, always, always is. But don't be surprised if you have, like the lady in the example, if you have COVID-19, you might need to rest for a few days. You might be guided to just follow your guidance, whatever that is. You might be guided to drink a lot more water. You might be guided. Take your action, if you're guided to action, from a place of feeling better, knowing, right? Not out of a place of fear. Okay? Those have 2 different results for you, right? If you act out of fear, oh my gosh, I have this, I think I have the virus. What shall I do? The virus is going to get more intense. It's going to heat up for you. That worry is going to invite it in. But if you go, my body is feeling really off. And then you might be guided. You might be guided to go into the doctor. And if you are, but go in knowing that you're going because you're feeling the sense of relief in that, right? Go in knowing that you're flowing in the direction of your guidance. Or you might be guided to lay down and take a nap. Or maybe you'll be guided to go take a shower, or whatever it is. Let it shine through. Let that come. So I'll pause there. Because I loved your examples, Espen. When you shared about being on the ocean, I know you've talked about this before. Any condition you're in, when you were on the ocean, that was very extreme conditions. You were out there 24 hours a day for a few days. I don't know how many days in a row. But the ocean never quits. The weather doesn't quit. You have to be always in the moment. And yeah, and your body is very adapted to that. So I'd love for you to speak to that.
Yeah, it's just now when I got it, like, and also with the purple thing, I have experience with that too. Like that energy comes through, and also my voice changes. But it's like the letting it happen part. It's coming very, like, isn't it time? Isn't it time for just now letting it happen? Isn't it time to just letting ourselves to flow in the now, that it's always new and refresh? Isn't it time to letting everyone be who they are and letting ourselves to be who we are, and whatever will happening in the moment, letting it be still if there is conditional or unconditional, because when we don't go back there and just letting it be, then it can easily flow forward to more. when there is less and less resistance to what is, the becoming of what we are desiring will become experienced more and more. So it's not time to just letting it happen. I just like feel like for myself, because I already had a beautiful experience, and for me, just like, this is something I really experienced. I was just coming through, and it's like, but I don't have to hold on it. I don't have to do anything about it. But just know that the source energy is always working out for me, and it's always working out for you, and it's always working out for all of us, for the whole humanity. It's our source energy is ours. It's
Yes.
a part of all of us. It's a collective energy. It's a connected energy to each and one of us. Therefore, we can feel. How do we know that we feel good and feel bad? We already know when we start growing. We know these feelings. We know when things are feeling good and when we're feeling in the flow, and when things are moving forward, and we just like things are easy and gentle in general. We know it.
Mm-hmm.
And we will know the opposite. And that is our beautiful guidance system. But the guidance system is not good or bad. The guidance system is a guidance system. And it's just guiding us to know that where we are at the moment when we feel what we feel, and to let ourselves to always improve the feelings. It's something that's there always.
Yeah.
We can always improve the feeling. It's because motion is always in forward motion. It's not standing at the same place at the same moment at the same time. It's always in motion. Things are moving forward. And that is just like, it's not time to that letting it happen, because motion comes and goes. And when we not be distracted by it, but like letting it happen, letting it flow, then there
Mm-hmm.
will be every experience will be a joyful experience, right? Because when because alignments never exist. And we are alignment first before we came into the physical body, to feel that and understand it first, and knowing that, alignment first. And then we line up with ourselves first before we do enough. We will be guided in a way, and we feel the fun part of it, the joyful part of it, the satisfaction. She talked about that a lot today. It's like satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfaction. Do you want to expand on that? Satisfaction, Jen.
Well, first I'd love to, because you say so many things every time. I'm like, wow, it's so great. It's wonderful. But
Me
let's
too.
address this purple dot, this purple energy, right? So, because you know,
Yeah, it was very fun.
so, and this is a beautiful thing. So, one of the questions that came in, there was a lady that she had seen it on 3 separate occasions, and for her, it was more like a purple ball, and that was coming, and then they related Esther's experience, and you may have this too. Although I will say this, it doesn't have to be purple. It doesn't have to appear in the way that it is in this example, but when you hear the explanation, you'll know if you've experienced this, or you know if it will come in a future experience, what I'm describing. So for Esther, it had come after she had been meditating, for a while, and she was starting to receive Abraham, and starting to, still flow. And know this: when Esther started to receive the collective consciousness of Abraham, they are a they, right? At first, it came after 9 months of meditating, and then at first, they started moving her head, right? It would start moving. And right. And you'll see that if you've ever seen Abraham live in any format, when Esther comes into that space, you see her head moving and kind of an acknowledgement. Well, it started doing that. And then she started spelling nose words with her nose. First it was the alphabet and then words. And then she was inspired to go to, this was this long ago, it was in 1985, she had a typewriter, and she just started methodically typing, the alphabet and the numbers and then she started typing words, right? This is Abraham. I am your spiritual guide, whatever. But you'll be guided. And after that, when it first came to her, where she could speak that. And then shortly thereafter, she had an experience. So onto the purple, right? Where she was meditating, and it was wonderful because she saw this purple, and she would best describe it as a vortex. So a spinning, so think of kind of like a tornado or a cyclone, purple spinning vortex. And it came to her, and it came right into the middle of her forehead, and it sat there for a while, and she could feel the connectedness of it. And it was very, very beautiful. The feeling was, in today's broadcast, they would say it was probably still her number one experience. And what it was the indication of for her is that the portal is open, right? She is seamlessly connecting between physical and non-physical. She has a very clear connected path, a portal, so to speak. And that's what, in the question, this lady was experiencing. Hers was purple balls. But so don't get so hung up on what it looks like or what color it is. Remember, we all perceive energy differently. But you will know if you are feeling that connection. And then you can see that's how Esther connects very seamlessly, right? When she's coming into the collective energy of Abraham, because that portal is very established and it's there. So that's what they were explaining with that purple. So if you are seeing things like that, energies coming to you or feeling things like that, know that it's indicators of either your portal coming in or your connection to that. You won't be mistaking it for anything necessarily, because it will feel like ecstasy. Really, it will feel very good. You will feel like you're fully plugged in, right? Very, very, very much so. So that was the first piece. So anything you want to add to that, Espen?
It feels so good. You just
It's
say
really, really
continue.
good. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
goosebumps.
So
So much goodness, energy. Thanks for sharing that, Jen. Thanks.
yeah. Well, and then you would kind of, expand it into the concept of satisfaction, right? I mean, you said a few other things in the middle, but kind of, they kind of culminated into that feeling of satisfaction. And it's so important for us to recognize, to really feel our feelings. And, one of the questions, it was earlier on in the broadcast, it was somebody that, had said they were, felt that they were more of an empath, meaning they could feel other people's feelings, right? So, but, know this, we are all sensitive to energies, and it's a very good thing. But by tuning into your feelings, right, really making that primary, you will have awareness of others, but you will be seeing them in their more of the space of their alignment, in the view of their vortex, and you will be more guiding in that space. Because, energy comes through beautifully. And the law of attraction is a cooperative component in all of this. So, whatever you're seeing around you, the old news, I'm going to be very accurate on this, the old news of your physical surroundings, it's all old news. The old news of your statistics, the old news of whatever your bank account says in this moment, that old news, whatever you're experiencing, is indicators of what you have been vibrating. If you want to know what you are vibrating in this moment, you have to feel it. You cannot see it, hear it, taste it, or touch it in this moment. Your true vibration, when you're in your space of alignment, can only be felt. So, okay, that sounds kind of like, okay, that's kind of big. That sounds even kind of esoteric. But here's the thing. It begins with being okay with where you're at and feeling your feelings in the moment and recognizing what they are, the guidance that they are, and then deliberately choosing to always flow forward in the direction of that which feels better. And we've already talked about the two keys. There are two pieces that are big. They're so helpful in this. I encourage them both. I use them both. I know you do too, Espen, and that of meditation and appreciation, right? But there's another one that is, So beautiful. And it's deliberately, it's called segment intending, or you could call it
Mm.
pre-paving, right? And it's deliberately deciding before you're flowing into each segment how you will be feeling in that segment. And here's the thing, we're pre-paving all the time. It's happening all the time. If you're worrying, you are in essence pre-paving what you don't want, and you're not doing it probably from a deliberate space, because most people don't deliberately worry, right? But just know that you're just unintentionally or not deliberately doing it, but you are, right? So it's important instead, if you're feeling worried, because I know this is kind of a prevalent, kind of a sneaky vibration, that kind of gets in there kind of sometimes for people. But if you're worrying, acknowledge that. Does this feel good? Does it? But I know that what I want is created. I know right now in this moment, the broader aspect of me isn't worrying. Because, yeah. So just,
Mm.
just to let you know, your inner being, God's source, is never worried about anything. Because when we're in our contrast, whether it doesn't matter what it is, our inner being, God's source, is right there with us, broadcasting what we want, answering what we want, and broadcasting it to us. So there's nothing to worry about. But if we don't acknowledge that, if we don't come into a space of going, I've been kind of really worried about my bank account for a long time, and I check it incessantly 6 times a day, or something, whatever, right? Okay, right. Yeah, maybe I can ease up on that a little bit, right? But you want to always start where you're at. And I like how you're chuckling, because that's the fun thing. When we start to be easy about things and we start to
Yeah.
acknowledge, it kind of starts to get a little humorful, and we kind of go, wow, I've been wasting a lot of energy. Well, not wasting, but I've been using a lot of my energy focusing on things I don't want unknowingly. And it feels a lot better to just focus on the abundance, right? That's around me. It feels a lot better.
And it feels so good now when I'm aware of those things, because I'm laughing because that was something I did before. So,
Right.
so, and now I'm just like realizing, it's all good. Things are working out.
Yeah.
There is a flow in the energy of it. I'm feeling the appreciation for the becoming of what I'm now, where I'm now at, and I'm focused in the newness and the forward in the now. But I get so much clarification from this, what you share, and I will definitely listen back, because for myself, there was so many things. There were so many things that I experienced with Abraham shared, that I was like, this feels good to just have more expansion, and to know. I love you share a lot of time that being okay where you are. That's the good point to start, right? To know, be okay where you are, and then what's next, you'll be guided. When you just being okay where you at, you already ease up all the energy of everything,
Mm-hmm.
because everything taking place where you at right now. And when you are being okay with where you're at right now, then it can ease up the things, and letting you to flow into the newness of the becoming of be okay where you're at right now, and now we're moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So key. It's
And
so key to all of it. Because no, wherever you're at, you are loved unconditionally. You are appreciated unconditionally. You are being called forward unconditionally. There's nothing for you to prove. And when you can come closer to matching that vibration, if you haven't seen something that feels like a purple funnel or felt like, that type of what I was explaining, it's coming. When you get closer, as you get closer, you'll feel that. When you can feel about yourself more like God, source, your inner being feels about you, loves you unconditionally, when you are in contrast, source says, thank you for asking for this new thing. This is amazing. Come this way, right? This is beautiful. Come this way. This is brilliant. Come this way. And when we hold ourselves apart, yeah, it doesn't feel so good. But when we can acknowledge, okay, this contrast births something really good, and I am going to allow it in.
I love that.
I am going to allow my path to be illuminated. I'm going to enjoy the unfoldment of this. And isn't life, isn't who we are just one big unfoldment? There's nothing to rush through to or through. Isn't it truly is. And they say it a lot. The joy is in the journey. And it's a beautiful journey if you let it be. And it all begins with being okay with where you're at. Allowing yourself to begin to feel comfortable, allowing yourself to begin to feel good, allowing yourself to begin to feel pleasure, and allowing yourself to flow more in that direction. And know this, there's no rush. If when I said pleasure, it made you uncomfortable, that's okay. Just start with the okay, right? Just start with okay. Can I be okay with this? Yes. Right?
Jen, I
Mm-hmm.
remember something, and I was immediately thinking about you when you talk about his snoring, and I was laughing hilarious because he was so funny. Because there's so many who had that experience, and it is always so funny. But then he said, "Yeah, but you can hear this snoring from a dog, and and it feels good, and you can hearing the pouring from a cat." And I was thinking
Yes.
about you, and you had that kind of energy, and then you look at your man and you can feel the same for him. So, and it's
Right?
like our imagination, but with our energy, with our alignment, it always finds a way through to feel good
Always.
about anything. It's not resisting anything. So
Yeah.
when you can ease up that, to look at the positive aspects in everything in your life, in everything that happens, because we know we can't control the outside. And the whole outside, what's going on there, it's snoring all the time. She talk about it, and
That's
it's
great.
like, but from the inside, we can control the way we feel.
Always, always. I
Yeah,
love that segment. Oh,
yeah.
I was chuckling all the way through. It's beautiful, right? This person was quite fixated on her husband snoring and just was at her wits' end. Abraham was like, well, you got this. And Abraham is very brilliant. So it's a wonderful thing. You can do this for yourself. They began with very soothing energy. Well, we know this for sure. You must have a desire to be close to your partner, because if not, you'd already be sleeping in separate rooms. So you must have that desire. And in that desire, just allow that to evolve. There are many, many different solutions and ways of going about that. I don't know what your best solution is. And, it's a very individual thing, but just be okay with that. And then I loved how they went on to say, with Esther, because her dearly departed or beloved Jerry has, he's back in non-physical for a few years now, but he snored, right, a bit, and it never bothered Esther. At least it didn't sound like it from what Abraham was sharing. But she said it brought her comfort, and now she would find sometimes when she was wanting that comfort, she would open up an app to play the purring of a cat or the snoring of a dog, right, to give that soothing kind of a feeling, because those are both very similar soothing vibrations. So it's a wonderful, beautiful thing. We're always guided. We don't have to push against anything, not even snoring, not even that. And it's kind of a funny, example. We were all probably chuckling during that. And maybe if this is something that's, bugging you in your current life, you might think, well, I don't think it's so funny. But here's the thing. If you're still, sleeping in the same room with your beloved one, right, know that you have a desire to be close to them, right? And then start listing out those positive aspects of that person. Don't push on the snoring piece. Think about, think about how much you love him. Think about oh, the richness of your relationship. Think, just begin appreciating all the wonderfulness that you've created to get together, and all the wonderful things yet to come to be created. And you'll feel your path being illuminated, whether it's a special set of earplugs, or redoing things, or we just don't know what it is, but it will be there. The solution will be there. And you'll find when you ease into it, it might be like Esther, that for her it became a source of comfort. For her, it was something that she seeks, so much so that she, seeks it out in an app. So all things are for us when we allow them to. And I'm so glad you brought that segment up, Espen, because that was really beautiful.
It was. And what a beautiful thing I just felt so unconditional good, and to know that that's unconditional love, and still when there's what's going on. It's the same story. I remember Abraham talk about, like your dog is digging in your garden, but you unconditional love the dog, and you just laughing because it looks hilarious, and it's so fun to see the dog is just playing. And that is with everything. If we can let the dog play, we can let everyone play their own game, and let ourselves to feel unconditional good no matter what, and see the broader perspective of who they really are, and to feel the unconditional love to them. That's how it will be perceived to us. That's how things will be experienced for ourselves. And we don't doing it for others. We're doing it for ourselves. But
Right.
then it will expand the energy of how it unfolds for ourselves, and for maybe for others as well. Because when they don't feel resistant from you, and they feel in the alignment, it's the most influence energy that is.
Right.
And it's
Right.
the most nature of who we all are, that we are all in this together. This is who we truly are, pure love source energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then
So great.
we are then maybe natural, we are influencing naturally,
Mm-hmm.
without thinking about our feeling, but we just like feeling good unconditionally, then we influence the whole planet, the whole universe, everything. Because
Yeah.
that's the energy that is in all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it all begins with you,
It all
right?
begins with you.
Being okay with where you're at, even if
Yeah.
you're angry, and or you're feeling frustrated. Being okay with that and allowing the unfoldment. It's your path is laid out for you. There is no place to get to begin. It begins right now, and it begins with you, just easily, lovingly flowing forward into feeling your guidance, to feeling who you really are, and into enjoying the unfoldment of your beautiful, unique life experience. It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. I love it so.
Thank you, Jen. Oh, this has been a wonderful hour. I just we could speak for 1 hour more, but it is so good. Just to edit the feeling, the excitement still going on, and that's what it's all good, and there is more to come. And I love what you share. Be okay where you're at, whatever if you feel what you feel. When we don't resist that thing, then it can releases the resistance and allowing that transformation to become. When we don't resist what's happening, and we resist the condition we are, sometimes we stop resisting it. When you start having less resistance to what is, and more allowing to who we are, then the becoming will be easy, gentle, and general, and more and more and more and more and more, and never ends, just more.
Love it.
So thank you, Jen, and thank you everyone who's been here co-creating with yourself and co-creating with each other. And we all in this together. It's been a very, very wonderful hour here with you, Jen, and with all of you. And I'm just feel expanded and more to come. So thank you, Jen, and thank you all.
Thank you, Espen. Thank you, everyone. Love you all.
Oh, y'all.